In this guided hypnotic track, I'm going to help you to release the feeling of shame. Shame is a feeling that many of us picked up at different times in our lives, where perhaps you felt like you could have said something differently. You could have done something differently. And perhaps that feeling has followed you into adulthood. Perhaps the feeling of shame that comes up is from something that happened that may for most people feel insignificant if you were to have told them. For others, it might be shame regarding something that happened to you. Something that someone else did. Or it could be a progression of things you were told as a child that you should feel ashamed of thinking or doing or believing. And because many of these instances in which we felt shame happened when we were young, when we didn't know how to release or feel those feelings and acknowledge them, sometimes we simply carry them. We carry those feelings and emotions with us and keep recreating experiences in which we feel those emotions again, even though they're uncomfortable, because they feel familiar, because we were so accustomed to feeling them when we were younger. Now, I don't know what the shame feels like for you, or how you're experiencing it, or what happened. But I'd like to help guide you today to not have to carry that with you, to let it go fully and completely. Because shame doesn't do anything good for us. And because it doesn't do anything good for us, we know it's not good for us. And we don't need to carry it. So you can keep those feelings of what happened private to you. But together, let's go on a journey. And let's release that feeling. Before we go, I'd like to reconnect with your body and relax your mind and your body by taking a deep breath in through your nose for about 4 seconds, expanding your chest out. That's right. Holding it at the top for a second or two, and fully and completely releasing the breath all the way out. Take another deep breath in through your nose, expanding your chest and your abdomen out. Holding it at the top and releasing the air you were holding in completely out. Now I'd like to ask your unconscious mind if it's all right for you to release the feeling of shame fully and completely today, and for you to be aware of it consciously. And if you got a yes, continue on, breathing. Allowing yourself to enter a deep state of relaxation. And perhaps a sense of calm washes over you from the top of your head all the way down to the bottom of your feet. Breathing in peace. Breathing in a sense of knowingness and awareness. That after this meditation, you're going to feel so much better than you did before. In a moment, I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to imagine that you can float and fly like a bird all the way above the very first time you felt shame. And it's likely going to be a time in which you were much younger than you are now. Perhaps before the age of 7 is most likely. Ask your unconscious mind to wrap you in a protective shield, whatever color brings you peace, knowing that you are protected throughout this whole entire process. And whenever you're ready, allow yourself to float up in your protective bubble, flying around until you locate the memory in which you first felt shame. Stay above the memory, observing it from a bird's eye view, keeping yourself at a distance from it. I'm going to be quiet for a few moments as your unconscious mind takes you to that very first memory. Once your mind has found that memory, simply observe it. Observe what's happening. Who is there? What you're thinking or feeling. what's being said or done without judgment. Just observe it, because you are above it, looking down now. At that very first time. Ask your mind now to take any learning that it would like to take from this memory that will allow you to release the feeling of shame easily and effortlessly. Any learnings, higher learnings. And you do not need to think of what these learnings are. They are unconscious. You may even get an internal feeling. Once your unconscious mind has found the learnings it would like to preserve, allow your mind to preserve those learnings so you'll always have them. The learning of which will allow you to release the feeling of shame. Once it has preserved those learnings, I'd like you to fly. Pretend you can fly as far away from that memory, all the way into the past, before it ever happened, perhaps even before you were even born. Just keep going further back, as far into the past, pretending you can fly all the way into the past. All the way up and further back into the past. Now imagine you can look back towards that memory, but it's so far away that it's only the size of the point of a pencil tip. Allow yourself to float and fly all the way back. Noticing that the feeling of shame drops. The further back you go, and check in on those old emotions. Seeing if you can find it, or you may notice that you can't. The feeling is no longer there. And if you still notice the feeling, distance yourself even more. Go back even farther. And if there's ever a time in which you listen to this and the feeling didn't release, all that means is that there's an even earlier memory that wants to go. But for right now, just notice how you feel. And I'd like you to imagine that you could pull out any shame from your body that was ever put there by someone else or by yourself. While you're far away from that memory, I'd like you to imagine where shame once was, where it was in your body. Locate it now. And imagine with your physical hands that you could simply pull it out. Pull it out from every fiber of your being. Pull it completely out. Fully and completely now. Just allowing it to come out. You can just pull it. Keep pulling until you know it's completely and fully out. You're doing great. Allowing any of the shame that's left to just come out fully and completely. Now imagine you can take all of that shame and spin it in a different direction and make it even more beautiful than it was. Make it beautiful. Spin it. Pretend it's a ball. Spin it in a completely opposite direction than it was before. As fast as you can until it takes a life of its own. And it can never go back the same way it was before. And do this, and whenever you feel like it's right, pull that ball in and allow all of that to fill you up with this new knowledge, this new understanding, this new feeling, allowing it to fill your center and expand all the way out, pulling it back in, knowing it can never go back the way it was, fully and completely shifting all of that now, transmuting all of that old energy that was stuck in there into a new beautiful feeling and sensation. Take a deep breath here, in through your nose, allowing all of those changes to take place. And whenever you're ready, and you know all those changes took place, you can float back down with a bird's eye view above that old memory in which you used to feel that old emotion, that very first memory. Check on the emotions. See if you can still feel that old feeling of shame, or you may notice it's gone now. allow yourself to go into that memory, seeing through your own eyes, hearing what you heard. Being aware that you no longer have to feel that same emotion. And perhaps you make a new decision here. Or if you feel like making a new decision here, do so now. And whenever you're ready, and that memory feels complete to you, float back up, looking at it from a bird's eye view, changing anything you'd like to change there. And now pretending that over any other moment in your life in which you felt unwarranted shame, or you felt shame that you didn't want to feel, just allow your unconscious mind to stop over each event with its new decision and new understanding. Allowing your unconscious mind to make any changes to help you feel better now. Floating all the way back to the present moment, fully integrating it, fully and completely. Noticing that the emotion did in fact release. Perhaps pulling in a feeling of peace, gratitude for yourself, for going on this journey today. Before we go, I'd like you to pretend that you could travel out to some time in the future. In which you think that old feeling of shame might have bothered you. And just notice if the feeling is gone. Whenever you're ready, imagine yourself flying back to now, noticing that you can feel good. Whenever you're feeling an emotion like shame, or if there are other feelings you'd like to release, you can come back to this guided meditation. And if you feel called to do so, let us know in the comments how this helped you. Take a deep breath in through your nose, breathing in peace, exhaling out. One more deep breath in, inhaling peace, and exhaling. And let's do one more. When you breathe in and exhale on this last time, you can come back and fully be present into the room in 3, 2, 1. Thank you for allowing me to guide you today.